Hey guys, what is up? What's going on out there today? Good morning. Brent Abel here, webtennis.com. Another episode of 7 Around 7. Hope you're having a great start to the day wherever you are. Still here in the California desert, but getting out of town, it looks like in the nick of time. Weatherman is calling for the excessive heat warning today, 109. That's 109 this afternoon. Yeah, Maya and I are heading out. We're got the first leg of our trip to Steamboat Springs, Colorado this morning. Probably leaving around 10 or so. Going to hang out in Richfield, Utah tonight, and then have a leisurely morning, and then pull in the steamboat tomorrow afternoon. Probably around mid-afternoon or so. Anyway, look, guys, I will for sure do a show tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. It'll be, Mountain Time Zone. Gives me another hour, huh? Anyway, look, hope you guys are well. And I'm going to make this kind of short and brief today. Before we get into it, into the 6 for 10, you win. Another gem off of the Dave Sievertson 12. And by the way, if you want the notes that I'm going to eventually digitize off of this 8x10 that Dave gave me when he and I were working together about a month ago. We worked about 4 times in the court, and in the end, he was great. He gave me this nice set of notes and gave me permission to share them with you guys. And I'm going to digitize it. But what I'm going to do is on each one of the nuggets, the 12, I'm going to kind of do a video of my own takeaway with it. And yeah, so if you want it, no charge, totally free. It's on me. It's going to take me probably a good few days once I get to Steamboat to get it organized and edited and finished and all that. But if you want it, all you've got to do, shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. And when it's done, I will definitely get you a copy. So look, the other thing is we got a new sponsor. I mentioned yesterday, my good friend Dave Doherty, top player in men's 65s, a guy who has developed his own high-performance tennis clothing line. And don't be fooled with high performance meaning that it's super expensive. Very reasonably priced, but some really great shirts and shorts that you guys have got to check out. And when you do your first order, Dave has graciously given us 15% off for your first order. The link is down below in the description area to go over and check out 98.6. And I'll give you a quick reminder at the end of today's session to go take a look so that you can get your 15% discount on your first order. Guys, let's talk about 6 for 10, you win. And that is off of recommended goal for BA, Brent Abel, number 9 from Dave. And this one is really interesting because I think we all know the stats, but I don't think that we practice, and I don't think that we really believe it very much between points. And as Dave says, you don't have to win all the points, only 6 of 10. You do have to play a high percentage of points well. Now, look, that's really open for interpretation, right? Playing points well. Well, that doesn't mean that you are constantly going for big power, that you're constantly going for massive spin, that you're constantly going deep into the corners, right? Playing well means it's most of those will come from letting your opponent make the errors, all right? So a high percentage of playing points well, to me, means that I got to do a couple things. Number one, I've got to go out and practice consistency, shot execution, consistency. And so, like, it's one thing to say, all right, well, we want to be consistent with our shot making, but really, where does all that start? Well, for me, all of that starts with spacing. If I'm consistently good with my spacing, the spatial distance away from the path of that incoming ball, on this one, it's a backhand in the picture. If I know where my ideal point of contact is, and that if I practice spacing, well, the chances go way up that I'm going to be a consistent shot maker. If I'm consistently spaced well, forehand, backhand, volleys, overheads, even on the return to serve, right? If I've got the right spacing and I'm practicing being consistent with that, that's going to equate to consistent shot making, right? So look, I think that we think about consistency in kind of like the end result, which is what we want. We don't want the ball to come back. And yet, as Dave says right here, you do have to play a high percentage of points well. Most of those will come from letting your opponents make the errors. And look, Jeff Jacklich is the one that really is sort of over the last few years brought that to our attention. And his saying is, let him touch the ball, right? As long as you're a consistent shot maker, you've got the right spatial distance, you've got the right point of contact. We've talked about this before. You control the swing speed. You understand for you, swing speed, what is the right swing speed? Prior to contact, the pre-contact swing shape, right through the ball. And what are you doing after you make contact? Are you staying consistent with the swing speed after contact throughout the finish? I mean, contact is not the end of the swing technique. Contact's about halfway through. And you've got to be able to control your swing speed out through the ball right towards that target. And if you're consistent with that, I'm telling you, you're going to win a minimum of 6 out of 10 points, you know, unless you're playing against some guy who's really, really so much better than you are that, you know, it's just a mismatch in terms of skill levels. That's okay. You can learn so much by playing a guy who's a whole lot better than you are, by not thinking, I got to go bigger. I got to do this. I got to do that, which is out of your, which is really out of your skill level zone, right? You've got to stay within that skill level. And I think if you take that mindset that even as Mr. Stowe told me way back in the day, eventually, and this was when we were practicing approach shots and primarily the forehand approach, take it to the top of the rise, just kind of drive it up the line. You got good geometry. And eventually, he told me those top players over there, they become human. And if you'll do the same in terms of present that top player with more and more opportunities to make an error, you're getting closer to the 6 out of 10, right? What are the stats on the top guys in the world? I think the top 5 guys, I think Djokovic is winning 51 to 52% of all the points he plays. Yikes. I mean, to me, the margin of victory there is just so slim that if you've got a hiccup in there, right? If you've got a mental hiccup in terms of one of two things, you're trying to do too much with the shot, number one, or number two, between points, you're just beating yourself up, then that 51 or 52% might go down a few percentage points, and you're not one in the world, right? So look, here's what I want you to do. I want you to practice 2 things. Number one, as I said before, I want you to work on consistency. And this is what I'm doing here. I got, I'm just working on hitting this backhand into that cross court quadrant. Say that 5 times real fast. Landing in the middle of the box, but still driving it through there, right? Not just floating it over there and pushing it, but actually slightly accelerating the racket speed before contact, but not with the mindset that I'm trying to practice an outright winner. I'm just having Ronnie over there just underhand feed me balls and getting consistent with it. And after the underhand feed, he goes to the other side and slowly racket feeds some balls from the other side of the net. And then we sort of graduate to where he goes back halfway between the net and the baseline. Racket feeds some more. Nothing big, but and then eventually just starts feeding from the baseline. But the idea here is that you are practicing consistency, number one, with spacing, number 2, with contact point, number 3, with can you control that swing speed that you want? Because if you're practicing, well, I want to be able to hit winners over there with this backhand. That's what I'm really practicing. Your swing speed is going to be way, way too high. Yes, you're going to ding a few now and then that would not be returnable, but you know as well as I do, once you get in the match, it just is a different feeling. So number one, get consistent with your shot making skills, which spacing, contact point, swing speed, right? The other thing is you got to work on your between points routine a lot. You can't just think about, okay, well, when I get in that match this Saturday, league match or tournament match, or maybe it's a practice match, whatever, I'll go ahead and make sure that, between points, I'm not going crazy if I hit a great shot, or I'm not going crazy if I chunk an easy open court, winner. And so you got to practice the between points routine thing. I've got mine. I got my 4-part between points routine. I got to practice it. For me, it's not like riding a bike, right? I can't go play a tournament after I haven't played a tournament for months and think that it's just going to kick in. For me, it just doesn't work that way. So shot making consistency, winning 6 out of 10, not only is with stroke technique, what we just talked about, but is your consistency in your between points routine. And if you get those things organized and you trust them and you start to build some real confidence in those two things, man, all you got to do is win 6 for 10, just 6 out of 10, and you're going to win. So don't get ticked off there. And look, we all want to win every point, right? It's not like we go and we win 6 points in a row and then we go, oh, okay, well, I can go sloppy for the next 4. No, we want to win every point, right? Obviously. But the reality is we're not going to. So there's no panic. There's no reason to panic if you lose a few points in a row, right? I mean, you might change tactics. There might be something that you decide you want to do differently against this opponent. That's fine. But don't panic, if you're not winning every point. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Reminder on the Sievertson 12, let me know if you want the digitized version once it's ready. And then for sure, down below in the description area, go check out 98.6 men's high-performance tennis clothing, shirts, shorts, 15% off your first order, right? Try them both. Get a pair of shorts, get a shirt, and it is really great gear, really great gear. That link for 98.6 is down below in the description area. Guys, that's it for me today. We got to get packed up here. I got to get a little stationary, little cardio gusher before we get in the road this morning. But there you have it. All right, guys, it's time to get out there. Ooh, get way out there. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, I will see you again next time.